I just read an article about the victims' families in the theater shooting that happened some months back. Are livid with anger because the movie theater, which is now reopening, invited them to the reopening, and that apparently is insensitive. But you know what? If they hadn't been invited to the opening, I know that I'd have read an article about, they weren't invited to the reopening. They weren't invited to put these tragic events of the past behind them. How insensitive. In fact, some families are now suing the movie theater because it's the theater's fault. Because the theater didn't have adequate security. They didn't have adequate security to stop an armed psychopath with a plan to kill a bunch of people. I mean, what exactly level of security could a movie theater have to possibly prevent something like that from happening? I mean, do you want like an armed SWAT team that just kind of like hangs out, you know, like 2 armed guards in every theater just standing there at both sides of the screen with assault weapons, just waiting for some shit to go down? Would that make you feel more comfortable? Because I gotta be honest with you, armed guards don't tend to make me feel safer. You know, maybe I'm just strange, but being around a bunch of fucking trained thugs with guns kind of puts me on fucking edge. Inadequate security. They say the theater didn't give their families enough fucking support. Well, you know what? The theater offered, and in fact did pay for the funerals of many of the victims. Which is not their obligation. It's not their fault. They just happened to own the building where it happened. It's not as if they were in any way complicit or that they're in any way responsible. I mean, maybe you could say they just did it for public relations reasons, but the fact remains that they did the right thing. They did more than what they were responsible for, and these fucking victims' families are a bunch of scum fucks. I mean, I know that's probably not nice to say about someone who's lost a loved one, but I mean, when they are clearly exploiting the death of their loved ones for financial gain, for media fucking attention, when they're sitting there playing the victim card as hard as they fucking can for as long as they can possibly get away with it, it's hard to fucking like these people. Now, I'm sure that these people who are whining and complaining do not represent the majority of the victims' families. I am sure, I am positive, based on what I know about human nature, that this represents a small contingent of horrible people who just have no problem exploiting the deaths of people that they lost. I'm sure that most of the victims do not crave media attention and are not out there for a fucking settlement check. At least that's what I hope. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but if I am to maintain even a semblance of respect for my own species, then I would hope that the majority of the victims are not looking for a fucking payday out of this. And are not looking to militarize public places in the name of safety. Safety from an event whose possibilities of recurring are so fucking minute. Even if there was one theater shooting a year, it would still be, it would be outrageously impractical to even fear it. Even if it was annual, even if there were 2 movie shootings a year, because there are thousands of movie theaters across America. And there are multiple screens at each fucking theater. So, I mean, the possibility of it happening, and there are multiple showings of each fucking movie. I mean, I don't even know, it's gotta be in the fucking, it's gotta be like the high hundreds of thousands, if not the millions, the number of fucking possible movies that are shown every fucking year in movie theaters. I mean, with the number of showings and the number of different cinemas and so on and so forth. So your chances of being hurt in such an attack are so fucking low. It's an anomaly. That's why it's scary, because it's something you don't expect to happen. You cannot prepare for the unexpected. I mean, and at some point, preparation just becomes superfluous, because you're trying to prevent something that, one, probably couldn't be prevented anyway, And two, it's not worth the expense of trying to prevent it because it doesn't happen often enough.